Hello, and welcome to the Noninkables podcast. We are on episode number 32 now. I did hear recently on a different podcast that I listened to, you should always explain what the podcast is about. So I'm going to add a little intro. What is this podcast about? This podcast is about Lorcana and kind of my experience through it. Okay, so this past week we had our usual podcast episode, and then I also posted an unboxing type video where I opened a bunch of Still returned blister packs that I had ordered on Amazon. They were on sale, so like $4 each. And so if you're interested in watching that, that is also on the channel. This week we will have this podcast episode, and then we will have part 3 of TCG terms. So I've made 2 previous videos basically just talking about terms that I have heard playing Lorcana that I did not know what they meant. And so I kind of compiled a list. So this is part 3 and most likely the final part of that series. The past week, I played in one constructed tournament with Brian, our usual on Friday at DVY. So we'll talk about that. And then we signed up for what looks like it's going to be a pretty big tournament. So it's called Pretty Good Lorcana Tournament by Gold Star Collectibles. It's in Sacramento. I will post a link down in the description below, but it is going to be like Swiss 2-game format into top 8, and then onwards from there. It is going to be casted by Ed Chu. So he won Dallas Fort Worth DLC. He also won Battle of the Bay, and so he will be casting. He also has a YouTube channel, so if you guys want to check that out, it's kind of, I think he has like 2, so he has like his own YouTube channel, which I will obviously link, and then he also has like a Tinc one, which I think he does with Chris, more of like a team type thingy. The entry cost is $45. Of course, with like Eventbrite fees, it goes to like basically $50. And what else? It's 6 legal. They're going to have local vendors there that are going to be selling like handmade things. There's going to be food trucks and restaurants close by for lunch, which will be after round 3. They're also going to have side events, so Pack Rush, Sealed, Draft, and Constructed. And then the pricing support. So the pricing they have listed, they said, is if at least 128 players attend and will be adjusted if less attendance is achieved. So they're going for big, like Battle of the Bay. I think Battle of the Bay we had exactly 120 or maybe 126. But if there are that many people, then first place gets a booster box from each set. 1 through 6, it says you could get a first chapter booster box, and you also get a official Lorcana playmat with custom foil treatment, which I'm interested in. I'm interested in how did they get the custom foil treatment, because I would like to put custom foil treatment on my playmats. If you guys have seen, I've seen it on Twitter. There's somebody who does playmats like for fun for his friends, and he made this awesome Along Came Zeus playmat that is foiled, and also like a Oswald pulling the thing back, and it shows like friends on the other side. I'm gonna make a note to myself to add those pictures in because they look awesome. If I had a pen, never mind, I don't have a pen. I'm gonna have to. I'll make a computer note like that. Okay, so that's for first place. Second place is a booster box from set 2 to 6. And then the playmat set third place is 3 to 6, and then a playmat. Fourth place is a box of Azurite Sea, which is the new one, and a playmat. And then 5th through 8th is a trove from Azurite Sea. And they also, it says, with locally made inserts in a bag of Mickey Mouse Glove token damage counters and Mickey Mouse Glove hand token, which is kind of cool. And then 9 through 16 is 3 booster packs of Azurite Sea. So I think if you don't make it to the top, kind of sucky, because I don't know if they'll have the same as Battle of the Bay, because Battle of the Bay was like Jesbian, and I feel like she loves to give away things, and so she had her whole like spin the wheel to win a prize every time, but I don't think that's that common. But who knows? Maybe they went to Battle of the Bay and will incorporate that. Who knows? So yeah, we're signed up for that. Me, Brian, I think Tyler from our team is also going. I'm not sure about Gary. I think he would probably go. I don't know if he ever commented in our like Discord if he's going or not. But that is January 4th. So it's a Saturday right after New Year's in Sacramento. If you're interested, check the description down below. Okay, so this past week, we played in one constructed tournament. it was at DVY, so our usual place, and there was only 4 people there, so pretty low turnout. I feel like DVY has kind of died down a little bit since Nick left and moved to Texas. But Davey, so the owner is named Davey, and then like people are telling me that DVY is supposed to be like Davey because that's his name, but I think it was just like that was cool, but it's called DVY. I checked with the owner. He's still really cool and he helps run it. And so the other people there were Justin, who is new. He just started playing Lorcana, I think, like a month ago. And he said that he had played Yu-Gi-Oh, but he had like only played because his friends were like, hey, we should go to regionals in like a few months, like 2 months. And so he was like, okay, let me learn this game real quick. And then he went to regionals and qualified for nationals. And so he's kind of trying to do the same thing with Lorcana. I think he also used to play Hearthstone. And so he was there's new person. And then the other person was Kyle, who we've met before, whose name I totally forgot, as usual. But he's cousins with Matt, who plays a lot with us. And so new people. So that was fun. So 4 people. So obviously we played everybody. The first round, I played, let me see if I wrote it down. Oh, I have the wrong pieces of paper. The first round, I played against Kyle. He was playing red purple and I was playing green steel. And he ended up winning 2-1. So he won the dice roll. And then the first game, part of it was like prior to going. So I feel like this always happens. Prior to going, Brian had like laid out my deck like with all the cards like together and organized. And then he had like put it together and shuffled. And I was like, oh, do I need to shuffle more? He was like, no, I shuffled it a lot. And I was like, okay, great. I should have shuffled more. I feel like I should have pile shuffled and then shuffled because I think he just shuffled and I feel like the cards still stick together. So the first game, I think I basically kept 1 3-cost Uninkable Diablo, and then I mulliganed, and then I got 2 more. And then I think with my draws, I got like Prince John, and then a Prince John, and another Diablo. So I got all 4 Uninkable Diablos, 2 Uninkable Prince Johns. So it was like a rough game. So he won, and then the second game, I was able to discard his hand and was fine. And then the third, I need my notes. The third game was super close. I got to 19 lore and he was at 9. And then I can get control of the board and couldn't get anything to stick. Kept wiping all my stuff out. And then I think I just needed like something to survive, but he always found the answers. So I lost that one. The second round, I played against Justin, so Justin had played Brian round 1. Brian played his blue steel Oswald deck. Justin was playing red blue and had lost. So I played Justin because we both lost. And he switched to red purple, which technically not allowed, but I was like, whatever, he's new. Who cares? Also, like, this is low stakes. We're all going to get a promo card because it's top 4 get a promo card. So he switched to red purple, which I was like, fine, totally cool, whatever. And so let's see my notes for that one. I O2'd him, so I won the die roll, which is unusual for me. The first game, I got to 18. He was at 1 lore. I think I just got a lot of stuff on board, discarded his hand, and quested. The second game, I also won. He got to 12 lore, and I was at 8. And then it looks like it was 15, and then win. So I don't think it was super hard. And then the third round, I played Brian. So going into the third round, Brian was first. He was 2-0, and I was technically third. I was 1-1, and then Kyle was also 1-1, but Kyle had already played Brian, so I think that's why it matched us. So I played Brian, and I O2'd him. I think his deck just didn't really do what his deck was supposed to do. I also discarded a lot of his hand. I was on the draw both times, so pretty proud of that. The first one, he got to 8 lore. We were both like getting lore, so it looks like 3-1, and then 5-3, 10-5, 12-7, 8, and then I went 14-16, and then won. And then the second game, he didn't get any lore, and I won. I wish my memory was better so I could tell you guys exactly what happened, but I have no idea. And then I thought in the end that Brian would be first because he had won in the beginning, like So he won round 1, round 2, and lost round 3. And then I won round 2 and round 3, but I lost round 1. And I feel like usually when you win round 1, it's a better tiebreaker. But in the end, I ended up being first because when I lost 1-2. So I won a game, but lost 2 and lost that round. Whereas when he lost, it was 0-2. So that was exciting because I totally expected Brian to be the winner, and I was the winner. So I got a pin. I got the purple Lorcana pin, and then we all got promos. They let us pick, so I picked Honey Lemon. That was Friday. And then Saturday, we were just kind of hanging out at home. Is that a truth? No, we went to get... Saturday evening, we went to see Leia Salonga. So in the morning time, we were just hanging out at home, kind of like having the Lorcana European Championships in the background while I was practicing. And so the European Championships happened this weekend at Disneyland Paris. And every time I watch the European Championships, I'm just like, oh, their stuff looks so pretty because they are done by different companies. So their company is Fanfinity. I don't know how to pronounce it. Probably Fanfinity. And so they're like, they have these like pillars that light up and is really cool. And I feel like ours always looks like we're having it in a Costco or like some other warehouse. But the European Championships happened. So they had LCQs first, so last chance qualifiers, similar to in America that we're going to have in January, which I'm going to. And we didn't know that our friends Ed and Judy were going. So not Ed Chu, Tester, winner of Fort Worth Ed, but Edmund. So Edmund and Judy had gone for fun to France, but they both didn't make it. Judy said they both lost all of their die rolls. They got knocked out in like round 3. She played green, steel. I'm not sure what Edmund played. I think probably red, purple. And she said she bricked. So I was like, ooh. And then I think she said Dale and Zan were there too, and they didn't win their little pod either. Apparently, I heard through the grapevine that Zan sat at the wrong table. He sat at like a side event table instead of his actual table and still got disqualified, which is weird, but maybe everything was in French. I don't know. And I know Dale probably played green steel because he was a big green steel player last set, which made me a little iffy about playing green steel because I'd been playing green steel and practicing with green steel this whole time. But I had already started to feel a little iffy about it because I feel like I would just always discard everyone's hand and then they would just draw more cards. Like if I was playing against blue, they would just draw here and I'd be like, dang it, I worked so hard to discard your hand and now you have here, I'm back in the game. Or they would get like a Visions or a Developer Braid and then get a Hiram or something, you know? And then if I played against purple, they would just be like, top deck Genie, top deck Rabbit, friends on the other side. And just like, oh, so frustrating. And then I was like, am I playing this matchup wrong? Is that what's happening? And then I started taking notes again on when I play against people. And as I edit my deck, similar to what I used to do with Pixelborn. So I have like a little Google Sheets of what I played against. And I lost against green, purple a lot. Like one of my comments I wrote was like, lose, lose. I went first, I lost. And then my comment is murdered. And then yeah, I was like, I don't know if I want to play green steel. It doesn't seem like my style. I just feel so uncomfortable playing it. Like I'm not doing it correctly. Because I think set 3 when I played green steel, I didn't really feel like I had a style. And also it was more aggro-y. And I feel like aggro I like. But since then, green steel has felt really uncomfortable when I play it for some reason. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to change decks. Maybe I'm going to change decks. So then I went and looked at I went on Ink Decks and looked at the results for the European Championship, and they had up like the kind of like the winners from Swiss, not necessarily like the winners from Swiss, but like the top people from Swiss. And like number 1 was, I think, some Ruby Amethyst deck, and then number 2 was Emerald Amethyst. And I was like, ooh, maybe I can play Emerald Amethyst because I really like Amethyst, and I feel like I understand Emerald a little bit better now. And so then I basically took that Emerald Amethyst list and was practicing with it. And it had kind of like the standard like Chris Merfolk, Diablo, Bonsai, Chernabog, blah, blah, blah. Cloud Kicker, Ursula, Go-Go, etc., Genie, Merlin. And then it had like a one of Belle, Accomplished Mystic, one of Cricky and then one of Ursula, Sea Witch Queen. And so I played with that one. I played, 3 rounds. I played against a red-purple, a green-blue, and a green-purple. And I won all those rounds. And I was like, ooh. I played against a green-purple that had the Emerald Chromacon with Maleficent Staff. And so that combo kind of went off. And then they never got it again in the other 3 games we played. So I lost because one, I don't think I was playing right. I kept attacking, and so then it would bounce my character, and then once he had Maleficent Staff out, I was like, no, you're just gonna get a lore when it bounces. And then the second game, I just totally ignored the Emerald Chromacon. I just put down things that quested for more and kept questing. And then the last game, they had a Maleficent Staff out. Yeah, they had just the staff out, so then I played everything with 3 attack or more because I knew they had kit and I didn't want to get bounced. And so I was like, ooh, I'm learning on the go. And then that was Saturday. And then Sunday, I switched over to the second place deck from the European Championship, which is actually very similar to the first deck that I was playing. The only difference is that it doesn't have the Cricky, but it still has the Belle and the Ursula Sea Witch Queen. It also didn't have any songs, and it replaced those with White Rose and then one of Peter Pan Shadow Finder. And then instead of playing 4 Bonsai, it played like Magic Broom. So 1 Bonsai and 3 Magic Brooms. So it had 15 1-drops. A lot of 1-drops. So you never ever not get a 1-drop when you play that. So I played that for like 2 rounds. I played against an Amber Steel and won. I was pretty proud of myself because, okay, so when I was playing Green Steel, I had Go-Go Tamago in my deck, and I was like, I don't like this card. I don't know how to use it. It's not working. It seems to be expensive, blah, 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 right? So then when I played against Amber Steel, I took notes because I was so proud. I put 5 damage on a Robin Hood, so Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, that I had exerted, and then I Tamagoed with and paid the 2, so I got 5 lore that way. And then they healed the Robin Hood with Rapunzel partially, so they got 3 cards. But then I top decked another Tamago, and then I won because I think I had an Ursula on board and the Tamago, so I could quest for 2, but I was only at like 17, I think, so I just needed another lore. And so because they couldn't fully heal the Robin Hood, I was able to Tamago again because I top decked the Tamago, and I was like, yes, so good. And then the second, oh no, I didn't take notes on the second game. I think that was like, I was like, oh, I'm learning. And then after that, the second round, I practiced with that deck. So the second place deck, I played against a red-blue. And the first game I won on the draw. The second game I lost, even though I opened with 3 Cursed Merfolk. And I think they kind of adjusted their plan, so they played more characters than is usual for a red-blue deck. And then the third game, I won with Tamago because I think they had like a big Sisu out and a Tamatoa and something else. And with what I had on the board, I could have gotten rid of the big Sisu and the Tamago, or not Tamago, Tamatoa. I could have gotten rid of the Tamatoa and the big Sisu, but then I would have nothing on board. So instead, I think I just injured the Tamatoa and then played Tamago and got the lore instead of like trying to quest or trying to get rid of their board. So then after that, I made my own deck that kind of combined the 2 decks with some of my own little spice in there. And so I've been playing with that deck and I've been doing pretty well, although I have been playing like a lot of the same decks, and some of them are against Brian. And he was playing like his Oswald deck, and then he was trying to play red-green actions. So first I played against an Amber Steel deck. I was on the draw, lost the die roll, and then ended up winning that first game, lost the second game just because they got their opener stuff, and then it was like too much. They had like the Cinderella, the Ariel, the Naveen, and then they had a big Tinc, and then they just shifted their Cinderella, and I was like, there's nothing I can do. And so lost that game, and then the third game I won, and then I played a mirror match against a green-purple, and it was pretty close, I think, throughout. And once again, I won with Tamago, so now I am fully on board with this card. I do need to rewatch Big Hero 6 to figure out exactly how to pronounce it, if it's Tamago or if it's Tamago, and I will update you guys when I figure that out, exactly how it's pronounced. But I'm totally on board with that card now. I see its use, and I really like it. And then I played 2 rounds against Brian's Blue Steel deck with Oswald, and I think his deck was just not doing what it was supposed to do. Okay, so then after that, he tried to play a red-green action, but like his own version, not the version I played for Battle of the Bay, and won the first round, 2-0. The second round, I lost the first game, and then won the next 2. Oh no, we only played 1 because we went to bed. And then I played against a purple steel deck and got O2'd. And I think part of it was I was trying to play around. I was doing this during red green, so I was trying to play around Let the Storm Rage on, even though red green does not play that because it's steel. And then when I was playing with purple steel, it took me a while to realize that they just basically run along King's Zeus and Fire the Cannon. And then I thought maybe my inkability was not good because I had 17 uninkable in that version. So I took out the rabbits and I just put in friends on the other side. And so then now I'm at 14 uninkable. And then I played a game on ranked that was against red purple. I 2-0'd them, but it was like a weird red purple with Jim Hawkins and Library and RLS, but I didn't see any of that like Moana card that moves people for free. So I'm kind of confused as to what kind of red purple that is. And so I'm continuing to test. I feel like I've only matched into what are better matchups for green purple. So I need to actually kind of practice against the bad matchups. I was looking at, so I bought Artabax's guide last set to green purple, and I was trying to read it to see if I could find any like hints and stuff. But unfortunately, his guide, because it's for last set, the cards are pretty different, I would say. And the matchups that he goes over are not the ones that I am like confused about, I suppose. So he goes over like Steel Song, red, blue, blue, steel, yellow, green, purple. But it doesn't include like green steel. So, and also I think the decks have changed significantly. Well, maybe not red, purple, but a lot of the other decks have changed a lot in the last set. And so like Genie is the new card that needs to be dealt with, whereas like last set it was like Daisy needed to be dealt with. And so I think there's a lot of tinkering that still needs to be done. And so I think I'm pretty maybe set on green, purple. I still feel like because the North American LCQ is in a month, maybe I still have time to change my mind and go to a different deck. But I'm definitely not going to do what I did for Seattle, which is change my decks in like the week leading up to it, because that was not a good idea. And so I'm going to try, I think, to make green, purple work. And it was successful for people at the European champs, but I feel like maybe because it was successful, maybe more people will play it. So maybe I need to play an anti purple green deck. I don't know. I'm not sure. I gotta like look at all the cards and see what I could put in there to make it good, and kind of work around things and try to figure out how to tackle all the matchups. Okay, so I think that is it for me. That's what I've been doing. I'm just basically practicing for LCQ. This next weekend, I don't think we're going to be playing in any tournaments. We have friends coming in from out of state. So we're going to go wine tasting and stuff. And also dinner at this, like, I don't even know, like, what kind of restaurant it is, but it looks very cool. But our friend was like, oh, let me call the guy and see if there's reservations open. It's like 1 seating a night type thing. So pretty excited about that. But I will be continuing to practice on Locanita. And for some reason, my schedule this week is pretty light. So hopefully I'll have more time to practice. Although our daughter's still home and not in daycare yet. So she's very, very distracting. It is not great for playing against people because then you do dumb things. Trying to do too many things at once. But this week I think I have some time. And then the week of like Christmas, my schedule is a little insane, like a little very, very bad. So hopefully I can get a lot of good practice in this week and maybe next week, because the week after is real rough. And then the week after that, is pretty free. And then we have that gold star, pretty good kind of tournament, January 4th, which I mentioned. And it seems like, and then the week after that is LCQ. But it seems like, at least locally, there's going to be a bunch more tournaments around. Like not just regular constructed, but like slightly bigger tournaments or slightly different formats. Like today, somebody posted a tournament that's like a 2v2 that's happening this weekend, unfortunately, so we're not going to be free. But I think there's a lot more cool things. So yeah, that is the plan. Watch out for that TCG Terms 3 video coming out this week. I also today got a bunch of cards in the mail, like a ton of cards. So some of them will be recorded as unboxing. Some of them will be the regular shorts that I post every day. So 2 a day. And then the cards will all go into our TCG Player store. So check that out. Our prices get adjusted nightly based on market price. And so if you look and you feel like the prices are high, maybe tomorrow the prices will be lower and they adjust automatically. So I don't go in and do anything to them. But yeah, check out our TCG Player store. As always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a whole handful of non-inkables like me. All right, bye.